the delusional goal of 1,000 steps is only delusional until you start doing it.
Mm-hmm. 1,000 steps is not, 1,000 miles isn't that far. It's just, but you just have to start, right? And so, I mean, I said
Full disclosure, 1,000 miles is pretty far.
It is, but
it's not impossible.
I know people that have walked 1,000 miles before. I know people that have ridden a bike 1,000 miles before.
Welcome to The Growth Mindset, the podcast for ambitious real estate and mortgage professionals. Hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle, this show dives into entrepreneurial strategies, sales techniques, and mindset hacks designed to fuel your career growth. Get ready to learn from top producers, gain actionable insights, and start your journey towards success. Here's your hosts, Adam and Rick.
Buongiorno, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Growth Mindset Podcast. I'm Rick Riddle with my co-host,
Adam Crosley. Great to be here again, Rick.
How are you?
Awesome, brother. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic.
Love
you,
it.
My friend, look a little delusional.
I've been told I've been delusional lately.
Is it okay to be delusional?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
we were talking in the green room, right? A little bit about goal setting, and as we're rounding out the year, Adam said that when his goals were told, did I call you delusional? Was I the person that said?
No, you didn't call me delusional, but I've had a lot of people. My wife specifically.
We're not going to get into this. Is not a therapy podcast. This is the Growth Mindset Podcast. You may be delusional, but
I may be delusional, but I think there's a lot to be said for being delusional and specifically having delusional goals, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think almost anybody can accomplish almost anything. You have to begin with the end in mind and work your way backward to figure out what it is you have to do on a daily basis so that you achieve whatever it is you're shooting for, right? And I think we kind of all know that, but I think a lot of times, a lot of people, myself included sometimes, we play too small. We don't, one of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes is we often overestimate what we can do in a decade or in a year. We overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in a decade.
Good.
And because of that, I love a good 3-year goal. It's close enough where I can envision myself, my family, my kids, the people on my team, what that looks like. But it's also far enough away where I can dream a little bit, Yeah,
I guess, it's funny. I think that when I think of the word delusional or a delusional goal or over goal or unrealistic goal, that's just your mind giving you negative thoughts, right? And I think a lot of times our goals, or we are limited by our beliefs.
No. Absolutely.
We're limited by our mind. Our mind tells us we can't do something or it's hard. But, it's if you can separate those limiting beliefs to executing on your business plan or executing on what you can do some pretty amazing things.
Absolutely.
I think this week we here at Crown, with the helps of some of the people that work for you and I, we started a boot camp, right, where we basically set not a goal but an expectation of a minimum of 50 phone calls a day, right, for prospecting calls, 5 days a week, right, and it's a journey of 23 people making 50 calls a day, 250 calls a week. And I think after the 3 months, it's 50,000 calls.
I think it's going to be more than that. After week 1, we were at 3,500 in 1 week.
Yeah, because people exceeded the minimum expectation.
Because, especially with sales calls, especially with, cold calling, the hardest thing I find is just starting.
Mm.
But if you got good lists and you get in a rhythm, hell, sometimes I can go for 3, 4, 5 hours, right? But often starting doing something you don't want to do or something that's not pleasurable is hard. But we're all salespeople. We like to sell. And once you start, and once the pump is primed, so to speak, it's easy just to keep going and even exceed your goals.
It's funny. I'm trying to think of a great saying that to walk, to climb the mountain, you have to take the first step, or I'm sure.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Thank you. So the delusional goal of 1,000 steps is only delusional until you start doing it.
Yeah. 1,000 steps is not, 1,000 miles isn't that far. It's just, but you just have to start, right? And so, I mean, I said
full disclosure, 1,000 miles is pretty far.
It is, but
it's not impossible.
I know people that have walked 1,000 miles before. I know people that have ridden a bike 1,000 miles before. One time, hey, it's actually a fun story. I don't even know if you know about this about me. I rode my bicycle from Plattsburgh, New York to I wanted to head to New Brunswick, to basically to New Brunswick on the other side of Maine. I wanted to drive, and I got to Bangor, Maine, and my bicycle broke down. And you look at a map, that's a distance, but it was 450 miles, and I was riding about 100 miles a day.
Wow.
Yeah. On a bicycle, if you do 100 miles a day and you're trying to go 1,000 miles, that's 10 days worth of. I've had friends ride their bicycle across the country. It takes about 30 days.
When you think about it, any great inventor, like Alexander Graham Bell, right? Henry Ford, Elon Musk, right? Mm-hmm. Their goals were delusional.
Yeah.
Until they weren't. Until they broke through. From a sports perspective, Wayne Gretzky had 892 goals, I think. I might be wrong. It's been a while. A
lot.
A goal that was never going to be broken until Ovechkin broke it and is just going through it, right? And he's just had his 900th goal, last week. So if anyone said to Alexander Ovechkin as a 19-year-old kid, coming to America from Russia to play hockey and said, hey, and what is your goal is to beat Wayne Gretzky's goal record, they'd be like,
good luck.
You're delusional.
But it's okay to be delusional. I mean, I had a goal this year, and I had we helped 122 families last year, and my goal was to help 180 this year. We are going to do that. I just have a 50% growth record. A 50% growth was the bar I set for myself this year, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And at the starting line, a 50% year-over-year growth is huge, especially when you're, going from 10 units a month on average to 15 units a month on average.
Delusional.
Yeah. Delusional, even. Yeah. But it was done,
I will tell you, it helps our company for your wife to call you delusional.
Yeah, absolutely. You should send her something for Christmas.
Yeah. Keep him in a state of delusion, and we're going to accomplish some great things.
Exactly. When I do that with my rental business, I do that with a lot of different things in my life, and I have these huge goals. And yeah, I am delusional, but I'm delusional by other people's standards. I hold myself to a standard that is higher than most. I have a faith that it's gonna get done. I'm very clear on what I want, and then I, get to work every day, and we take action on those daily things that need to happen so that it happens. And then I have faith that when I get punched in the face or it goes sideways, that we're going to, we're still going to hit the goal. We're still going to do the thing, and we're still going to get the result.
Well, I think, being on the journey with you for such a long time, and I think of when we set goals, it put thought into your goals, right? what do they say? A goal without a plan is just a wish. And I think what happens is, as if you're listening and you're coming towards the end of the year, by the time I think this podcast will air, it will be right around the beginning of December. And everyone starts looking at their goals. Everyone starts reflecting on what they accomplished or missed out in 2025. And they're like, my goal next year, and a lot of times their manager says, what is your goal next year? What is your plan? And they spitball a plan or a goal. But if they don't, or I'm sorry, not even plan, they spitball a goal. Probably delusional. You know what? I'm going to double my income next year. How? And they're going to say, I'm going to work, I'm going to get more realtors. How? I'm going to make more calls. How? And you're right. That's the way to do it. But unless you have a specific plan and you just say, I'm just going to do it, you're going to wake up in May and you're going to be right where you were a year ago. I mean, you're going to be where the market, dictated where you went. You could be better, right? The market improved this year a bit, but that doesn't, you would not have.
I wouldn't have got to where we were going if I was just on the market.
Right. Yeah. And I see a lot of times people that do well, that have been in this business for a long time and do well in this business. So it's not like they're underperforming, but they have good years. They have average years, good years, and great years, all based on the market. Right. I can't tell you the number of people that had unbelievable, ourselves included, during the COVID, right? But a lot of us probably in 2022, counted our press clippings a little bit, thought we were better than we were, and really had a smack in the face reality. We all did. I think everyone did, right? And you kind of had to reset. And you didn't need, not only did you didn't even have delusional goals in 2019 or 2020. You didn't probably have any. You were just like, I don't know what's going to happen because of the way, COVID had. And next thing you know, for 20 months, any delusional goal you had, you hit. Wasn't even delusional, right? You're like, I saw people that went from $20 million in business, close over $100 million in 1 year. And guess what? They're back to doing less than 20 because they didn't adopt and change, right? They're now doing,
and they probably didn't. They lost the habits that got them to 20 because they didn't need that to get to 100. And then, Warren Buffett's famous quote: "You can see who's skinny dipping when the tide goes out." And that was kind of like me. I stopped doing the things that made us really good pre-COVID during COVID because it didn't need to work. It just came in, and then it hurt me even more afterwards because then I had to go relearn the skills and do the work again just to get back up to where we were prior to COVID.
Yeah, and and I think by this point, it's it is shaken out, right? Like there's a lot of people that exited our industry.
Yeah, like 60%. It's huge.
I would bet you if you looked at the top 10 or top 50 loan officers in 2020 and 2021, a lot of them were from refi shops, right? There were people 1 year in the business. I remember I think it was better.com jumped in. I don't know if they're still even around. Like, it's not really our competitors but like the top 10 people were closing, 3, 4, 500 million, they never even existed. They were in the business for 1 year.
Yeah.
And I would venture to guess they're not in the business today.
Yeah.
And I know we got a little off track on goal setting, but I think that we all had to, professional career mortgage people to survive or to even thrive in 25 had to change their action plan. And they really had to change before that, right? To survive. But the ones that thrived put together an action plan, had a delusional goal, put together an action plan, and execute on the plan.
Absolutely.
And that's what's great about sales, entrepreneurship. It can be done. And what's we haven't talked about my book, Use the Ladder, but the whole concept of the book is when you climb the tree of life, use the ladder. It's been done. So even your delusional goal. What's funny is your delusional goal. There are people that have closed 180 loans in a year.
Can it be done? Absolutely. Can you 500 loans a year? Absolutely. There's the story of the 4-minute mile. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, but
for our listeners, and I don't know the exact particulars. I don't remember the year, but it was in the 40s or 50s. They didn't think that a human body could physically run sub a 4-minute mile because they thought the body would just break. People had gotten close, but nobody had done it. And as soon as an American did it, within a year, 100 other people did it.
Yeah.
Because humans are wired different, weird, and we believe sometimes things can't happen, but as soon as somebody else has done it, we know it's possible. And then our brains get to work to figure out what needs to happen in order to make it happen. So with that, like for loan production or whatever it might be, the number one guy in the country is closing 1,000+ units a year. Cool. So can I close 80 a month? Absolutely.
It can be done. It's been done.
It can be done. Somebody else is doing it. And the thing that I've realized is like there's most people in life, they're not exceptionally better. They've chosen better. They've had better outcomes because they've had better inputs. And, I'm never going to be, Michael Jordan of, in basketball, but, I'm a 6-foot tall white dude, it's just never going to happen. Right. But can I be the best in the mortgage business? Absolutely. And the best of the best even. Right. So, I think being delusional is very okay. You just have to have the plan so that you can achieve your delusion. And
the most important thing is just doing it.
Yeah.
Executing it.
Yeah.
And letting go of all distractions. Right. I think and letting go of limiting beliefs. We talked to, you only will fail if you quit. Right? Because if you make 50 outbound prospecting calls a day, and let's say you go 1 week with no positive response, that's 250 no's, right? And you're going to say, man, I failed this week, but you didn't. I only failed if you don't make 250 calls the next week.
Yeah.
Because the law of averages will get there. Because anybody that we all know, the success in this business is having the largest network. Right. I think we did a podcast earlier this year, right? The best loan officer is the one that has the best network. Well, guess how you get the best network? By prospecting.
Most calls, prospect.
And making those calls, And I guarantee that guy was not, insta famous, didn't have the best network. Year one, he was in the business.
Absolutely.
And he dreamed big.
I think that's it, man, is just dreaming big, believing in your dreams, coming up with an action plan, most importantly, so that you can achieve it. And you too can achieve delusional goals.
Yes. And you know what the funny thing is about our business? And probably most businesses,
I would assume,
the action plan isn't delusional. But it's just putting the work in.
Yeah.
Working
usually the actions aren't even that difficult. It's just the consistency and doing it every single day is challenging.
Yes. And I think the challenges are, there is a mundane to it. There is rejection. Nobody wants rejection. But if you can, our favorite friend, Carl White, says, it's not a no. It's a not yet. Yep. They don't have enough information to make a positive decision.
Absolutely.
And if you treat the no as such as not yet, they're not ready yet to buy what you're offering, to get a cup of coffee with you as a referral partner, to build a business relationship with you, it's okay. We take it personally, and it's natural, right? If you get slammed in the door, I think that the best, I would love to get the best networking loan officer on the phone, and I bet you they were slammed in the door hundreds of times. But you know what? They never tell you that story because it didn't hurt. It didn't debilitate them. It didn't limit them. They just kept on going.
Just kept going. Yeah.
You don't think about those, trials and tribulations. You might remember the first one. You might remember the funniest one. You might remember the awkward one, but you don't remember the number of them, because you remember the number of base hits that you got. You remember the ones that you built. You remember your best relationships because you fostered and nurtured it, and you went through 50 of them to get a rock star that gives you 20 deals a year. That's what you remember.
What?
So I think about, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago about the book, The Untethered Soul, right? That I started reading. Well, now I finished it, and it is all about your mind, right? It's all about your mindset. It's about clearing the mind and the negative energy and the negative thoughts, that happen, right? It actually said late in the chapter, or late in the book, I don't remember whether, and it's the book Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. The second best book that we talk about, other than the Use the Ladder by Rick Riddle.
Great book. You should go to Amazon right now and buy it.
Yes. Yeah. Use the discount code. Whatever, I don't remember the discount code. Just let me know.
Rick, use the discount code Rick sent me.
Yes, Rick sent me. There, in that book, they said you have one choice in life. It's that simple. There's no other choice to make. And the one choice in life is, do you choose to be a happy person or not a happy person?
Absolutely.
And I look at the business side. I've always showed, I tell people all the time, my success in this business is not that, we're in the mortgage business. I don't have a PhD. I don't have a master's degree. I'm not the best looking, as you can tell. I am not the best orator, but I have a positive mental attitude every day I come to work. Mondays are my favorite day of the week. I choose it. I choose Mondays to be the best day of the week, right? Because positive mental attitude gets you everything. So if you choose to be positive, then you can make delusional goals, and then you can put together a sound business plan, and the positive is during the execution. Now, when you're getting smacked in the face, because you don't quit. You just take the next opportunity in the same positive fashion as the first one, whether you whether you lost in the first one or not. And I think that's what happens. I think a lot of people have a delusional goal. Again, that's not the hard part, by the way. The delusional goal of dreaming big is the easy part.
It's the easy part. It's doing the work every single day to achieve the goal. That's the hard thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I love this. This is great. So get your mind right.
Dream big.
Dream big. Be delusional.
Put a plan
every single day.
Put a plan in place.
Yep. Put a plan in place. Do the work every single day. And then have faith that when you get your teeth knocked in, that it's all worth it, because we know that we can achieve that delusional goal.
And I'm going to put something out to our listeners. If you're listening and you need help dreaming delusional, if you need help building a business plan, heck, if you need help executing, or if you need us to keep you positive, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We will help. No strings attached.
Absolutely. I'd love to help that. I mean, that's why we do this, right? We do this to help others. That's why we take time out of our day, so that our listeners, so that our friends can find value and they can achieve their goals. Because that's really what it all comes down to, is helping others achieve their goals.
Yeah. And I think, we get a rise out of it. We've helped a lot of people. A lot of people have reached out to us that listen. We've helped a lot of people, right? We have in our own company, and when I reach that out, there's no quid pro quo. You have to join the greatest mortgage company, Crown Home Mortgage, to reach out. That's not what we're trying to do here. But, we've helped, and we've had people on our podcast, right? We've had people that went from, 16 million producer 2 years ago to closing 50 million this year.
Yeah.
In 2 years, he's doubled his business twice.
Well,
Close to doubling his business. But, 16 to 30, 30 to 50. I mean, that's a pretty remarkable number in 2 years.
And he's going to 75 next year.
I know.
But we were working on that business plan last week.
Is he delusional? No. He may be delusional, but he's going to make $1.5 million being delusional. So
exactly. Call me delusional, please.
Yes. No.
All right. Well, that's a great one, man. I really
work into it.
I really love the conversation today. This is awesome.
Yeah. So
cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's all I got. I got to come up with some delusional goals. And the only thing the last thing I'll say, but then we can end it here, is as you're sitting back, you're getting into right before the new year, and you're putting a business plan together, you're dreaming of your goals, take time to do it. Don't just do it in a 15-second, because my boss needs me to give my business plan and out with my year end or beginning 101, because that's not going to help you. It may please your boss that you put together a business plan that he wants to hear, but ultimately it's you. Make the business plan yours. Make the delusional goal yours. Don't have someone tell you what your delusional goal is. Make it yourself, put some time into it, share it, and really put together the business plan. And most importantly, execute on it. Knowing 365 days later, you can hit that delusional goal. So
love it, man. That's
awesome.
Great.
Till next time.
Be delusional.
This podcast has ended. Go in peace.
Awesome. Take it away, Eric.
You've been listening to The Growth Mindset, hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your colleagues. Stay tuned for more actionable insights to fuel your career success. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily reflect the official policies, positions, or opinions of Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation or Crown Home Mortgage. The content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice or an official endorsement by either organization.